propositions.
For sure.
They'll see that. So there we go. And put us on Instagram, and we're ready to rock and roll. Okay. I think we got that ready. Kind of let that garage get started. We're ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah, right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. And this is Tony Renfro with Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. And we're here this Sunday evening talking about a few things that's going on in the city of Beaumont. I'm with my guest, Councilwoman LaDonna Sherwood. Hello to LaDonna. She's on your left side of the room.
How are you?
Good, good. We're going to talk about some things today. Before we do that, let me introduce everybody to Knowledge is Power Podcast Live, which is a platform to share important information on educating the Southeast Texas African American communities with valuable information on health, education, financial, and politics and business. And tonight we're going to talk about the Beaumont City Bond propositions. And we've been talking about this for there's been a discussion on the plan for maybe 4 to 6 months, but now it's on the table and it's been approved and it's divided up into sections. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the good and the bad. What do you think about that? So let me introduce you to the city bond proposition for the
Well,
first.
actually, Tony, just to be clear, a lot of these projects have been in the pipeline or down through the works for many, many years. This is our first time having a bond election in 43 years, but a lot of these projects have been slated for quite some time. Some 4, 6, 10, 12, 15 years. They've been possibly discussed that we just haven't had a bond. And with that being said, some of these projects have been in waiting for quite some time.
Yeah, about 40. Well, you're right. About 43 years since we've had a city bond.
Look, that's long as I've been alive.
Yeah, actually, it's called the general obligation, which is a go bond, which is going to be on the ballot this November. So we want you to make sure that you're aware. We want to make sure that you're informed before you head to the polls. This is a breakdown of each proposition. You can go to the BeaumontTexas.gov/bond or go to BeaumontBonds.com to learn more about it. But if you look on the platform, you will.
Yeah, Tony, maybe you'll just go over them briefly, quick.
Right. Proposition 8 will have infrastructure. Now, again, let me emphasize this. You guys, I've been to both of the meetings that put this planning together, put this bond together, the committee meetings. And I have some questions also, and I'm sure many others have questions. So, guys, if you have any questions, please put it in the comments, and it's going to come on the screen. We'll put it on there, and we're going to answer your questions as best as possible, because I want you to be aware and know what you're talking about. I want you to be informed before you head to the polls. So, let's be positive. I'm sure we're going to have some negative, but let's be positive and positive thinking and positive attitude about it, because the city do need some help. The city needs upgrades. The city of Beaumont needs upgrades. So let's take this slowly and dissect it and look into it, and we'll go from there. Because you're going to be voting on all 5 separate propositions. Proposition A, we're going to be having infrastructure. Proposition B, we're going to have facilities and public safety. Proposition C, we have parks, trails, and recreation. And Proposition D, we have the Riverfront Park Extension. And Proposition E would be the Point Parkway North Extension. So I'm going to go down and break it in. So now, Donna, you can cut me off when you want to. I'm going to go and break down the proposition by.
Yeah, that would be good. That way, when we start, they'll already be broke it down.
Right. So let me go to Proposition A, which is let me go here. I want to make sure that I have everybody involved in it. Let's go Proposition. Okay, Proposition A is infrastructure, drainage, streets and sidewalks, the citywide sidewalk initiative, street improvements, drainage improvements. And the monthly impact of this is going to be $3.14 a month,
Let
right?
me stop you right there. Yes. So when we say infrastructure, originally, infrastructure really wasn't a part of this bond. It was going to
Right.
be something that we were going to have and fix through the enterprise fund, or water and sewer rates. And we were going to address these processes as we got funding through other either obligations or different funding buckets, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so many people were saying, we need to make sure that we throw some infrastructure in there, because it looks like a lot of feel good projects, but not a lot of meat and
Exactly.
potato projects that ultimately we don't want to just shine up a pig, right? We don't want to just put lipstick on a pig. We want to make sure that if we're going to have a bond, that we do throw in some infrastructure, drainage, sewage, sidewalks, and street projects, just because we're going to um, allow people to decide where this funding wants to go. And that kept coming up.
Right.
So
Right.
we did hear citizens, right? We heard them when they said that while that was not a part of the original plan, that we added these things in. So these things were added in at a later time. I just want to kind of clarify that originally the bond did not start as an infrastructure project, or having infrastructure projects, right? It was
Mm-hmm.
more about feel good projects. But we added this in because we heard citizens voicing the concern that these are things that they wanted to address. Go
And I
ahead. I'm
and I was one of those citizens because I wanted to make sure that the infrastructure was part of the deal, because
correct.
we need drainage improvements, we need streets improvement definitely, and of course the citywide sidewalk initiative. So, what are your thoughts about that, LaDonna?
I mean, I think that these infrastructure projects are going to be important.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for me, particularly, what my fight was making sure that Ward 3 got what they needed. And I always say this: Ward 3 is kind of the heartbeat of Beaumont. So
Mm-hmm.
goes Ward 3, so goes the west of Beaumont. Nevertheless, this is all of Beaumont. This will encompass streets, drainage, projects that'll be all over, not just particularly in Ward 3. Although Ward 3 being an older ward, we do need significant amounts of these improvements to be on the north end and the south end of town. So this will encompass things that we can do all over Beaumont, and we'll have a detailed list of what streets, what drainage projects, which if you go to BeaumontBonds.com, I don't know, we're not going to get all in depth of that tonight, but there
Right.
are specific projects that have been listed to improve drainage and streets, sidewalks. So that can be checked out. And I'm kind of glad that Proposition A got amended and added to the bond process in order to include some of that. That's going to be great.
But I am too. I am so glad we did that. I mean, you guys did that so we could make sure that we put that in
You
the
said it
city.
right. We
Yeah.
did that. We did
Yeah.
it together.
Okay.
It
All right.
wasn't just at the behest of the council. It was at the behest of the people. And so we heard you.
Right. Right. Now that's Proposition A. So that's going to cover. That's going to be a citywide deal.
That is
Which is
correct.
right. Which is going to be the street improvement. That means uh, pavement,
Mhm.
curb and
That is
gutter,
correct.
and streets. And some of the streets are already on the table,
That
which
is
is
correct.
Highland Avenue
That is correct.
from Irvin to Cardinal Drive. So that's going to be a big improvement. Any other? Can you think of any other streets, main streets that we
Oh
know
yeah,
that?
there are streets in the south end. I think it's Brooklyn, maybe Doucette. In the north end, I think there's maybe Beaumont Drive, and maybe right off the top of my mind, there's some street improvements on all over
Yeah,
the city, but in the north end and the south end for sure, definitely, yes.
right,
And
right.
there's a list. I Wait a minute, let me see if I can pull it. I don't know if it's gonna cut me off, but let me see if I can get my streets list. Hang on one second.
Okay, let's see here. And I think Blanchard Street is in that also, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, we are going to move on to Proposition B. why she's collecting the streets that's going to be in this bond for infrastructure. Um, Proposition B, which you can see on the screen, is the facilities and public safety. It's the animal care services and adoption center, fire station number 4, a new police headquarters in operation, uh, facilities improvements, the multi-purpose parks and community facility, the multi-purpose center at Alice Keith Park, and the public safety and technology improvement, which is going to have an impact on a monthly impact of $7.74 of taxes per month. But I really need her to get back on here so she can tell us about the kind of break down some of the details on Proposition B. But I would like to add on here. I like to add to that. I like to add to Proposition B that something that very important. But
Okay.
I've seen done in many
Can you
many.
hear me? Wait.
I can hear you very well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I went on.
Now I
Yes.
can't hear you. Wait a minute.
Oh my goodness. So Proposition B, multi-purpose sports and community facility, which is going to be downtown in front of the event center between the Martin Luther King Drive
And now I can hear you. I can hear you.
and the event center. I'm talking about Proposition B since you stepped away, and I was talking about the purpose of the multi-purpose sports and communities facility.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
going to be awesome. It's going to be six. It's going to be something that the city really needs, and it pays for itself. Really, it really does. I've seen it work in many cities here in Texas.
And I think that also too, just switching gears, but to give you a few streets now that I have my
Okay.
book out.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
looking at we're looking at some parts of Avenue A. We're
Right.
looking at some parts of Pine Street, Lucas, Spencer Drive, Beaumont Drive, Hoover and North 7th. We're looking at parts of uh uh Orange Street and Gill and Scranton. But so that's just a few streets to kind of give you a heads up,
Right.
and
We don't need
Brooklyn and
all. Right.
Doucette and other streets.
Right.
But when you talk about the multi-purpose center, what I want to remind people is that multi-purpose center is not going to just be for outside tourism, economic development, but also for community events and also for community involvement and also for
Right.
community improvement.
Right. It's going to have several basketball courts indoors.
Right.
Volleyball is a big tax impact. In other words, it pays for itself. I've seen it done in many cities with volleyball tournaments has just made an increase in the tax dollars that brought into the city. That would bring it to build a tax base on the hotels because they're going to have somewhere to places and they're going to need some place to stay while they're here over the weekends. So that's going to be great. It's going to have indoor. Where did she go? We're going to have indoor facilities and events that's going to be taking place. So it's going to be probably 12 courts. If the last uh, community bond meeting I attended, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to have at least 12 courts, uh, including pickleball, volleyball, and basketball. So that's going to be awesome deal. I mean,
It's
people
also going to have like classrooms and places
classroom, right?
for
Cafes. It's going to have
places
cafe.
for people to learn a trade or get a skill or have a
Right.
meeting and just discuss etiquette, right? Just different things that may need to be discussed in life skills. So we don't want to just brand this as a facility for economic development only. While it will do some of that, we want
Hmm.
to make sure that the community knows that this will be a place that they can go and utilize and be encouraged and incentivized and better empowerment, like an empowerment place, right?
Right. Right.
All things Beaumont that needs to be addressed, particularly with our young people.
And we're going to have also a Proposition B is a new police headquarters in operation.
And we want to make sure that we're undergirding and supporting our first responders, particularly police that are in an outdated facility that is
Right.
ultimately affecting morale and different things. And I mean, mold and
Yeah. It's been
flooding and I mean just storage in general. That place is pretty much bursting at the seams. And when I took a tour, I was thinking, Lord, we got to do something.
yeah.
And while that was not originally a part of the bond committee, actually recommended that we wait on that facility, but we decided as a council that that's something that was pretty pressing. So in an effort to prioritize that, we added that as well. So while we took the recommendation of the bond committee, we did take the liberty to interject some things that we thought needed to be happening right away.
And it's been almost 50 years since we had a new police headquarters.
That is correct. That is
Technology has
correct.
changed and things are changing. Excuse me, people. But we need to upgrade that. Okay, and also the animal care services and adoption center. The fire station number 4. Where is that gonna? Where's that location? Do you?
That fire station number 4, I believe, is near Gladys and Lucas, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think that's near
That's
Gladys.
it.
That's on
Yeah.
Gladys somewhere.
Right. The Gladys and Lucas Street.
Mhm.
Proposition C is going to be talking about parks, trails, and recreations. Is the playground equipment for the parks, parks improvements, renovation, and park restroom facilities, terra park upgrades, and athletic complex number 4, which is 3 fields conversions, and the impact on the taxpayers for the city is $2. Uh,
I think that this one is very good because Terrell Park is actually kind of a hidden jewel. And our parks, a lot of them, the equipment is scheduled to last something like, I think maybe 15 years max. And a lot of this equipment is 18, 19, 20 years old, particularly in the north and in the south end. So a lot of these park improvements and playground equipment that's going to be happening will be happening in neighborhoods that really need it, that really need those park improvements. And Terrell Park, of course, is the place where people like to frequent and do birding and do all sorts of things. You got Cattail Marsh out there, and we looking to upgrade that to make that a tourist destination where people can really come and get outside and do things at a minimum amount of cost with their family. So that's very big. We want to make sure that we're focusing on the quality of life in Beaumont, not just public safety and not just infrastructure, but also improving the overall quality of life for the citizens and families, right? Young people, people that are growing families that looking for things to do, maybe outside, fresh air, plenty of exercise, a little bit of sunshine goes a long way. I say that all the time.
all right. Now, also on that, can to break it down for us, please, because I need a little help on this too.
Mm.
The a little bit of the details of the park improvements that's on this proposition. C. What it
So
does the details of it.
So park improvements, I mean, I believe that they're going to work on restroom facilities and just extra stuff that may be necessary, right? Maybe there's lighting, maybe there's pavilions, maybe there's different structures that maybe need to be updated and stuff like that. So that's the park improvements, right?
Got
And
it.
parks require a bit of upkeep, in order, they get used over the years, and you got to make sure that you're updating it to keep it safe and also to keep it ADA compliant, because we want to make sure that all of our community has access to safe playgrounds and things of that nature.
Okay. Proposition D, which would include the riverfront park extension. That means the river, and that's only going to impact us only 67 cents.
Well,
Um,
and that's a big one for me, particularly because looking forward to the future, if we're going to do a hotel and convention center, which I think we might, we're going to give the citizens their ability to make some input on that. But if we did do that, then we want to make sure that we have a proper, exciting place outside of the hotel and convention center that people can come and gather and, pretty much share and enjoy in that outside space. The river is such a place of beauty, right? And so we want to make sure that we're capitalizing on the things that we have that are inside of our position. And the river is such a jewel, right? Who doesn't like to be on the water and a good breeze and getting outside? The river was always important to me as a young person coming up. Like my dad liked to fish and crab and all of those things. And on Sunday afternoons, that's always been a big deal. So a place where people from Beaumont that live in Beaumont can come, but also people that are not from Beaumont can come and utilize the splash pad or get outside and get involved on the river, which is actually a scenic place for us to be, and particularly in downtown. Which what we want to do is revitalize our downtown because that is the heartbeat of a community. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to doing some upgrades while we're opening Riverfront Park. There's so much more that can happen on the river.
Yeah. Would it include fishing docks, entertainment?
Yes, yes, yes. All the things, and we have a mocked up rendering of what the possible downtown riverfront expansion will look like if you go to beaumontbonds.com, and then you can kind of see. I know that Floyd Hope shared it on his page not too long ago, and people were excited. They were like, if downtown Riverfront Park is going to look like this is going to be hot. This is going to be something that young people and young families can come and do at a minimal amount of cost, right?
Right.
So yeah, you can go and check out the renderings on beaumontbonds.com and on the City of Beaumont website as well, just to kind of see what it looks like.
Okay. We need a little bit more details on that so we'll know what we're looking at that might interest us into this bond
Yes,
because
for sure.
Proposition E is Point Parkway North Extension. That is, and it's only going to impact us 48 cents in our tax monthly tax increase for this city bond. Now, that is going to be where the Park North extension from Parkdale Mall to Major Drive. That's it's going to right. It's going to go across. It's going to go across from Folsom to 105. Am I correct? Yes.
I think that is
Right.
correct.
Right.
That's also on the website as well. I know that there is scheduled to have some development happening there. Private investors are scheduled to do some development. So we can facilitate any way to kind of help expand and grow our tax base. I think that's more about this Point Parkway expansion, opening up that road so that if developers do want to come in and do some development that they have easy access, right? A road that's running through there that's accessible for people. That's
Right.
kind of what that is.
Right. I'm trying to get myself back on my page again so I know what I'm talking about. But anyway, on this city bond proposition, everyone, and for the city of Beaumont, I will have I'm going to invite every city councilman and mayor on the show um, each Sunday so that they can kind of sell us on the proposition, what in details about it, what you like and what you dislike. And again, you have the option to vote on each and every proposition. I mean, you just don't. It's not just a vote just for one city
Right.
bond. Yeah,
Right. And while we're sliding this at under $15, and that's if all these things pass. So you could do Prop A, Prop B, Prop C, Prop D, Prop E, and it would still cost you less than
dollar.
$15, $450,000 of home valuation. But this is your choice. If you don't want to spend $15 and you only want Prop A and Prop C, then it's gonna be at the will of the people. So we want people to understand this is not something that we are doing. This is not something that we are forcing or pushing or even advocating for. We're here to educate you on what the options are and allow you your voice, your vote will be your voice to decide what you want to see. If you want all of this, well, guess what? We can work on all of this for less than $15 per $150 house valuation. If you don't want all of this and you only think that certain parts of it is necessary, then that will lower the cost, right? By what you see here, which is I'm glad that this is broken down into what Prop A costs, what Prop B costs, what Prop C costs, so that people can kind of decide, is this worth 62 cents? Is this worth $2 a month?
Right,
And then you
right,
can go from there. That way we're getting citizen input. I don't want people to feel like we're pushing anything on them. I know some council members have maybe tried to strong arm this process and turn this into something that is not, but the citizens will in fact have the final say
trying
on
to
this.
say right. And people, I'm gonna understand you. Make sure you understand that just for an example, Proposition A, which is infrastructure. You and I know that we need upgrades in the city. We need streets. We need better streets, road, potholes, repair, curb and gutters, sidewalks. I mean, our children need sidewalks. We need sidewalks. Drainage, flooding, drainage. We need that improved. So that is Proposition A. If you want Proposition A, hey, it only costs $3.14 in extra taxes. Just say if that only passes, that's nothing. But
Yeah.
the key to this
And,
deal, the key to
and
this
I
whole,
always say, for me, I always say every election, every time, I don't care if they moving a street sign. It is your right, it is your responsibility, it's your duty to show up. And a lot of people, they get on and they complain about this and they complain about that, and nothing will never be enough. And the bond should have been all infrastructure or all sewage and drainage or all streets and potholes. We're
no.
going to have infrastructure with us always. We want to
Right.
make sure that we're touching on little parts of the city all over. So that way we get the most bang for our buck with a bond that we haven't had in 43 years. No, we're not, trying to do everything at once, but we're trying to make small strides in every department as much as we can. We can't really advocate for it, but no, I mean, it would have done us a disservice to just take it all and put it in the infrastructure and our quality of life, but we're not undergirding the first responders or, we can walk and chew gum. So like,
Right.
I want
Right.
people to know that while this is our first bond in 43 years, most cities comparable to us are doing this every 5 to 8 years.
Well, let me
So we need to make sure that we get in a habit of updating infrastructure and upgrading facilities and updating things through this bond process. So this is something that we should normalize doing often, not in every 43 years.
I have a comment here from Elizabeth Simon, and it says she's asking, is there a plan which proposition will be implemented first if the propositions is approved?
No, that we have not decided which propositions will be done first. And I guess we'll get to that after we even decide which propositions will pass.
So
No, we do not.
I'm glad she asked that question, because that was something that's a good question, because
Yeah, that may be something that we'll look into, but right now we're trying to get to November. We don't have a scheduled timeline yet.
okay.
I
Is
guess
that,
once they pass, then we can decide that. Right now, we don't know what's even going to be on it. Yeah,
but it's going to go in sections, or it's going to be all at one? You don't
I
know
don't
that
know.
either.
We're not
Okay.
there yet.
Okay. Okay.
We're not there yet. Depending on what passes, will probably depend on what order they take. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Any more questions? Let me look into our other our other social media page and see if there's any other questions. I don't see any on Instagram. Let me go back here. Let's go to YouTube and see if there's any questions there.
And even if there's not, what we're going to do, we're all going to go out on basically a campaign of town halls where we'll get together with people and host meetings and just allow people their opportunity to ask questions and chat with staff and talk about things that they
Hmm.
maybe want to see or how they want to see things done and things of that nature. Just kind of explaining the process in between now and November before the vote. So they don't have to do it today. I know you and I are only doing a 30-minute show and we're about 29 minutes in. We will send you the information on a town hall that's going to be happening, I'm sure, pretty soon in a community center near you. Well,
Okay.
we'll all be available, not just myself, but staff and the mayor and other council members, to kind of go over what all the bond
Right.
November looks like,
Yeah.
the bond election in November looks like.
And also, I'm gonna invite everyone over, every council member, to kind of give their spiel on the propositions. Um, let's see here. One more that from the YouTube channel, explaining on the screen, is explain that each prop is votable as an individual prop. Yes, we already discussed that. That each proposition is voted on individually. You can vote for Proposition A and Proposition B, and
That is correct.
don't have to vote for
You can vote for all or none,
right,
one, two, whatever your
right,
heart
right.
desires.
And that's, and also the total cost of this bond, which we haven't had a bond in 43 years, its total cost
Correct.
estimated to be $264,000. That's $14.25 a month on each taxpayer. So that we raised that.
Oh, we do that on coffee, right?
Yeah,
If you go to Starbucks in the morning, you're gonna spend $10.
that's right. So
You know. And I
that,
mean, if you go to the store and get a soda, 2 sodas is about 8. So,
right. So that's the plan. So guys, we appreciate you. Now we'd like thank you. If you have any more information, we're here for you. Any more comments, we're there
yes,
for
we
you.
will. We will be doing town halls, and we will be discussing this further. And we want to get as much citizen participation as possible in November. And we
Right.
want to make sure that we're as articulate as we can be about these propositions. So with that will definitely be accessible, available, and transparent. And there's actually a calculator on the City of Beaumont website where you can put in the valuation of your home and it'll tell you what it actually costs you. So say for an example, your home isn't weighted at $150,000 or less. Maybe your home's valuation is only $100,000. Well, that monthly fee will be lower for you, right? So there's
Right.
a calculator on the City of Beaumont website where you can calculate what the monthly cost would be to your household.
And to get that information, you can see it on the screen at the bottom right side, bottom right, BeaumontBonds.com. You can go there and it can give you a calculation what your tax dollars would be on this particular bond.
Thank you. That's great. I'm glad
Yeah.
you got that up
All right.
there.
LaDonna Sherwood, City Council woman.
I know that's right.
Yeah. War 3, everybody. So anyway, we thank you everybody for Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. We're here every Sundays and Tuesdays each week at 7 and 9 p.m. on Tuesday. We thank you, LaDonna, for sharing some information about the new city bond proposition. And we hope we'll talk about this again.
We definitely will. I appreciate you, and I appreciate Knowledge is Power Podcast Live for doing what you do in the
Thank you.
keeping us informed and up to date on what's going on in and around Jefferson County. I appreciate you.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for watching Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. Be sure to like and subscribe to all Knowledge is Power social media pages.